The inside.
For clothes that Tristan lost. Bold 3 detergent plus fabric softener. Spray relief.
You two take care of labor.
Only intended for a plane capsule.
You don't want to die of
Call toll free.
I'll give you trouble.
Pop your piece around the track if you get
nails and more nails.
You handsome, charming, specially marked boxes of Monster cereals know. Inside one of these free wax lips, fangs, or mustaches, they just uncover the real you.
We now continue with Smurf.
All funky colors. Shapes that swing.
It's impossible.
Game of level being seen, and it is virtually
After the honeymoon, but when I got back and I found out that he'd stolen Ben. Lies have gotten all of us into so much trouble.
Back up, cause it's on. Can you do what we do when we sipping on the brew? Conjunction, junction, what's my assumption? I'm sipping on the St. Not's brew, that's my function. 1 for the money, 2 for the brew. It's the LB to the C with the G-Funk crew. Fade into the wind, it's on again. Heads to the side, scoop the twins. Everything is smooth on the east side. Party on deck, we drinking St. Ives, yeah.
Originally formed in 1990, the rap group 213 consists of Long Beach, California representatives and childhood friends Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, and Warren G wanted to make it as a rap superstar group. Snoop Dogg had that cool but laid-back charismatic flow. Nate Dogg had them gangster harmonies, and Warren G had this smooth style of G-Funk. Warren G, whom was Dr. Dre's stepbrother, tried to constantly get Dre to listen to Snoop's music. Dre was either too busy or at the time wasn't interested. It wasn't until when Warren G played Snoop's music at a party was where it caught Dre's attention, and this is where the connection was made, ending up being a life-changing moment for the trio. Snoop Dogg was signed to Death Row Records shortly, and with the releases of The Chronic and Doggy Style, became a rap superstar. Nate Dogg was also picked up by Death Row Records and laid popular vocals on songs such as These Nuts and Ain't No Fun and Let's Little Ghetto Boy, and became their known hook man. Warren G, on the other hand, was unfortunately left out. It was heartbreaking for Warren to see his friends get signed on and live their rap dreams while he got pushed to the side. He contributed heavy to the Chronic sound, bringing Dr. Dre the samples, introducing Snoop to Dr. Dre, and also being ghost producer next to that nigga Daz, and brought the original sample kit for Let Me Ride, which would end up being one of the Chronic's biggest hits. But despite his contributions, Warren was overlooked and never signed. Never received any proper financial credit or compensation from the label either. So instead of waiting to get picked up, Warren knew he had to make it by himself, and he put out hit records such as Mr. Smoke, and also did production work for Tupac Shakur. But it was the song Regulate that caught Def Jam's eye, and they signed him in 1993.
So I could get some phones rolling in my ride, chilling all alone. Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls, they don't need to tweak. All of you skirts know what's up with 213. So I hooked some left on 21 and Lewis. Some brothers shooting dice, so I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride. I said, what's up? Some brothers with some gas, so I said, I'm stuck. These girls peeping me, I'm on line and swerve. These suckers looking so hard, they straight hit the curve. Want to bigger, better things than some horny tricks. I see my homie and some suckers all in his mix. I'm getting jacked, I'm breaking myself. I can't believe they taking Warren's wealth. They took my rings, they took my Rolex. I looked at the brother, said, damn, what's next? They got my homie hemmed up and they all around. Can't none of them see him if they going straight pound for pound. They wanna come up real quick before they start to clown. I best pull out my strap and lay them busters down. They got guns to my head, I think I'm going down. I can't believe it's happening in my own town. If I had wings, I would fly. Let me contemplate. I glanced in the cut and I see my homie Nate. 16 in the clip and 1 in the hole. Nate Dogg is about to make some bodies turn cold. Now they dropping and yelling, it's it's a tad bit late. Nate Dogg and Warren G had to regulate. You know, like I know, you don't wanna step to this east side.
Signing to Def Jam was considered an artist's dream at the time. It would be like a baseball player signing with the New York Yankees or an NBA player signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. Big names, rich legacy, and a heavy track record to follow. But as for mention on the Red Man There Is a Dark Side documentary, Def Jam at the time was not the Def Jam of the glory days. The label was on the brink of bankruptcy and fell into $33 million worth of debt by the time Warren signed to the label. Warren was also broke during this time as well and living in a dingy apartment in Long Beach Boulevard and San Antonio Drive in North Long Beach. Warren took his MPC 60, a Newmark mixer, and the Technics 12000 and started brainstorming and creating. He had a knowledge of music and leaned on from being under Dr. Dre about sonics and structure. He took what he learned from being under Dr. Dre's wing and created the monster hit Regulate with Nate Dogg, and it was a smash record. It was the record Warren G needed to stand on his own. Regulate also was the record that helped Def Jam clear out the majority of their debt that they accumulated. But with this success came another hurdle, and that was from Suge Knight and Death Row Records. Suge refused to clear Snoop Dogg the beat on the G-Funk era album due to tension with Def Jam. So Snoop and Corrupt low-key contribute to the album doing hooks and choruses. Death Row Records also wanted a piece of the record Regulate and argued that being that Nate Dogg was signed to Death Row Records, it created a conflict of interest. Suge even attempted to block Warren G and Nate Dogg to perform it at 1994 Billboard Awards to no avail.
God damn. Walked in, went in the room, and once, when we got in there, the door shut. Another door came over from this side, and then it was a dude I knew came out, was just like, Blood, you tried to set me up. So I'm like, huh? What the look like trying to set you up? This my, some just told me that. When he said some I said, oh, this nigga, this some bullshit. Yeah. Talking to Suge, like, Blood, you Warren, you just as us. So I'm like, nah. So I'm just chilling. So he walk up on me like he tripping and just wham, just snatch my shit. One of my homeboys, Big C Style, he came in like, what's up? Like, what's going on? What's happening with Warren? Why y'all with Warren? So while they talking, I eased out that motherfucker. Walked through the kitchen, and I seen one of my homeboys, two of my guys, I looked at them like, nigga, these niggas tripping. I didn't want to alarm nobody, so I got to the hallway, walked out the hallway, so as I'm going down the hallway, he came storming out that motherfucker. Get that nigga Blood. As soon as he said that shit, I took over. I started running, all you seen was just like some dominoes, just pop, they fell. Right. So I got a chance to get out that. I jumped in my truck, I had a big whoop, took off. Called my uncle, I said, run. Some just snatched my chain. I was mad. He called Snoop, and both of them, he told him straight up, he said, look, if my nephew chain don't come out that mother, I'm pull that up. Snoop called me like, G-Dub, come get your chain, man. I said, hell no, nigga, I ain't going back up there to get that chain. Nigga, keep that hold it, and when I see you, I get it. But the whole time I didn't know Dre left. I wish he would have called me to stay out the way.
Nate Dogg didn't back down and perform with his friend anyway. The beef between Suge and Warren would continue to escalate as Suge would attempt to bully and have Warren G jump for telling Snoop Dogg not to sign the Death Row contract. However, both parties would later reach a compromise with Regulate being on the Above the Rim soundtrack for Death Row Records and Def Jam having it for their lead single for the G-Funk era album. Working on the project for an entire year, Warren brought a different type of G-Funk to the Def Jam label with his debut, the G-Funk era. He also brought his own set of artists to help contribute to the album as well. New artists such as the Twins, Lil Malik, The Doe Shack, Bo Rock, and the Five Footers were guest features on the album. Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, Daz, and Nate Dogg wanted to be a part of it, but due to beef with Def Jam and Death Row, Snoop had to contribute the course of this DJ and did not receive any type of credit. Warren's production skills captured the sound and spirit of the G-Funk stage, which was totally different from Dr. Dre and Code 187. Warren's sound was totally different from the harder and darker sound of those two, but more so in the lens of 70s and 80s R&B, soul, and jazz funk. The Long Beach flavor that you can hear on Snoop Dogg could also be felt on Warren G with his laid-back and effortless flow on songs such as Do You See, So Many Ways, and This DJ, which will be also other hit records that will shoot the album to double platinum status, giving new life to Def Jam Records and cultivating Warren G as a star in his own right. Also, the songs You Don't Stop and Running No Breaks were original demos on The Chronic under the names Rat-a-tat-tat and The Next Episode, which showed Warren had heavy input on those songs. G-Funk Era will eventually go 3 times platinum, making it one of the pillars of the West Coast and saving Def Jam from going out of business. Warren proved that he didn't need the Death Row Interscope machine behind him and was able to carve his own niche in doing it his own way. 30 years later into the release, this album is not only remembered as a part of the West Coast Renaissance, but should also be credited for saving the empire from falling from its grace. This is King Eric signing out, and thank y'all for watching.